So, the very first time that I owned a Macintosh, it was a 2002 iMac G4. It had a 1 gigahertz power PC G4, 512 megs of RAM, and a either 40 or 60 gigabyte hard drive. These days, those kinds of specs can be outrun by an iPad. But let's not forget that the system, which I still have in storage, I'm just waiting for a time to recycle it, is 13 years old. At the time, it was cutting edge. It was $1,800 asking price. Now, the reason why I got it was because in high school, my major was in graphic design, and I needed a computer that would allow me to fulfill one of the requirements of my individualized education plan, or IEP, which was extra time on assignments. And the only way for me to do that for graphics class, especially in my sophomore year, was to get a Mac, because we were working exclusively with the Macintosh, and there was some editing software that we were using that now pretty much required the Macintosh. I don't know what the story is these days. This was 10 years ago, at the time of this recording, when I received my certification back in high school. So a lot of the software has since undergone a complete refresh. The certification is moot, and I'd have to completely start back from square one. But no, that was my first Macintosh. Then I ended up, in 2005, getting an iBook minus the European keyboard. The reason for that was because I'd originally gotten a Sony Vaio for a graduation present, which I basically gave to my father in exchange for me getting the iBook. The reason I got the iBook was because of battery life. Nowadays, I don't think it's near as much of a contest as it used to be, although Windows Power Management is still kind of Whereas at the time, Windows Power Management couldn't even get me through a full class, or at least 2 full classes back to back. It could get me through a full class, but only with 20% battery left. Whereas with the iBook G4, sailed through, no problems. Then in 2008, OS X Leopard came out, and the iBook was pretty much reaching the end of its useful life. So, I had asked for a 13-inch white MacBook. Couple of interesting things about the white MacBook. I had to have the entire hard drive replaced, and I had to have the top casing replaced. And in fact, in this picture, I can show you what I'm talking about. Take a look here at the bottom. You see how it's kind of chipped like that? Let's take a look at the other side, because apparently it's happened on both sides on this particular unit. That apparently was a lot more common than I realized, and had I not had AppleCare, it would have cost us $300 or $400 to replace. Plus, the top casing was known to discolor for some reason. I still have the computer. It's actually on ice status, and what that means is, in case of emergency, in the off chance my MacBook Air, which I'm presently using, and I'll get to that in a few minutes, or, in a moment, in case that MacBook Air should fail, then I can turn to the white MacBook. So that's what I used for a couple years. After that, like I mentioned a moment ago, my current daily driver is a white MacBook, at least for heavy-duty stuff. Or did I just say what? I'm sorry. MacBook Air. 13-inch MacBook Air. There. Yeah. You wash your tongue and you can't do a thing with it. Anyway, 13-inch MacBook Air. Daily driver for the last 3 years. Back in March, the battery had to be replaced. And also, last year, I came into possession of the Chromebook that I'm talking to you on right now. Now, the Chromebook my iPad mini, and my iPhone 6 Plus. Excuse me. All three of them combined pretty much fill the void for portable computing. The MacBook Air is coming to the end of its daily driver use. Not that I'm saying that it couldn't be used anymore, but I'm kind of afraid to put it through its paces as I have in the past, because now that it's out of the AppleCare warranty, if anything were to happen to that system, I would have to pay for the repairs. And from that $300 example for a hard drive and top case replacement, and you're probably thinking, well, why don't I just do it myself? Due to my vision loss and my mild cerebral palsy, I have issues dealing with tiny screws. So it would not be doable for me at all. I just feel better having somebody else do it that knows what they're doing. So what's going to be taking the place of the MacBook Air on its daily driver status? Another MacBook Air? Nope. Oops. Actually, a 21.5-inch iMac. The one that I'm specifically getting, and it'll be here next week, is a 21.5-inch, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 1 terabyte Fusion drive. Now, it's got the 2.7 gigahertz Intel Core i5 Haswell. The main thing, and I searched my options. I looked at the Mac Mini. I looked at this iMac. I looked at getting a Chrome base, the LG Chrome base. I put up a video about that sometime back. All three of these have something in common, and that is a bigger screen. My MacBook Air has a 13-inch screen. My Chromebook has an 11-inch screen. For sustained use, I have decided I definitely want a bigger screen. And I went for the 21.5-inch for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's significantly cheaper because the closest 27-inch with the same specs would round to about $2,000. And that's without a full license for Zoom Text, which I'm also going for, and that tacks on an additional $400. So this is significantly cheaper. It's also half the weight because this is going to be going on my desk in my bedroom, and that bedroom is upstairs in my house. So you can imagine lugging it downstairs in case I ever need to repair it or take it into AppleCare. So I thought it was a good compromise. Plus, I didn't think the 27-inch would effectively fit on my desk, without me having to completely redo everything that's on it, remove everything, find some places to store it. I don't want to have to do that. There are some things I do want to remove, but other things that I want to keep on my desk. And with the 27-inch, I don't think I'd be able to do that. So the 21.5-inch I felt was a good compromise in weight, price, desktop footprint. I'm also going to be getting I'm sorry, I lost track of thought. I might be getting a large print keyboard skin from AI Squared, the makers of the Zoom Text software. I am looking forward to this tremendously. I am looking forward to having a nice big screen. Now, there used to be, speaking of the 21.5-inch screens, there used to be, about the time Windows Vista was out, so 2006, 2007-ish, there used to be a 20-inch laptop by code name of the HP Dragon. Unfortunately, that thing was primarily a gaming laptop more than anything, and it was pretty much a desktop replacement. Which meant that the laptop, you try to run it on battery power, and it's out from 100% to 0 in about 30 seconds. But that's been long since discontinued. But no, I am very much looking forward to a nice big screen, 21.5-inch. I'm looking forward to not having to lean in to see the screen. I'm looking forward to being able to more productively and efficiently use the Zoom text software, because the bigger screen allows for a bigger viewing area. And as a result, it's much more fluid in its navigation. I'm also looking forward to the boost in the processor power, because my MacBook Air is a 1.4 gigahertz. This iMac that's been ordered is a 2.7. I'm also interested in seeing how the Intel Iris Pro graphics compare to the Intel HD 3000. Now, I must stress that the iMac is not going to be a gaming rig by any means. It's going to be a day-to-day social media, help friends out with TeamViewer, talk on Skype, that kind of thing. But at the same time, the video magnification software that I use, the Zoom Text, it'll be interesting to see how it performs with the 8 gigs of RAM, the Haswell, and the Intel Iris Pro graphics, versus what I have right now, which is 4 gigs of RAM, the non-Haswell Core i5 at 1.4 gigahertz, and the 1.4 gigahertz. I feel like I'm forgetting something. So yeah. So at the moment, I'm currently awaiting delivery, and I will keep you guys posted. But I would like to hear your thoughts on my choice. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.